Welcome to another exciting episode from Marvelous Videos. I'm your host, Tia Ayer. Maxima, DC's morally ambiguous queen, is as powerful as Wonder Woman. Hello, and welcome back to another fantastic video by Marvelous Videos. Today we will talk about a character that all DC comic fans will instantly recognize. She has red hair, is almost as strong as Wonder Woman, rules a planet, and she also has been the love interest and antagonist of one of the most famous superheroes. That is right, we are talking about none other than Maxima. Today we will explore everything which is to be known about the superhero. So put on your seatbelts and let's get right to this video. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Exploring the comic book origins of Maxima. Maxima has been a reoccurring character, showing up in multiple comic book issues, games, and even live-action television series. Maxima was first introduced in Action Comics number 645 in September of 1989. She was created by Roger Stern and George Perez, and was depicted as a morally ambiguous queen ruling over the planet Almerac. She belongs to the species called Ameracian, and she is the latest queen of her people. Maxima is widely known among the DC universe as the queen who searches for partners among Earth's superhuman male population to be wedded as her king and life partner. Well, at least now we know why she even became Superman's love interest. Oops, did I just say Superman? Well, now that the secret is out, yes, she has been the love interest of our favorite Kryptonian. But this does raise the question, why is she so obsessed with finding a mate to crown him as a king? And why did it have to be Superman? Do not worry, because we have the answer to that as well. Maxima's ancestors had ruled over Amerac for thousands of years, and in order to make their offspring stronger, faster, and better in all criteria, they intermarried with numerous races around the universe. Due to this Almeracian tradition, Maxima decided to continue as her forebears did. While doing this, she slowly became obsessed with expanding her rule over the galaxy, which would also help her find a worthy male for her marriage. Oh my god, she really woke up and chose rulership, didn't she? When they were on the mission to conquer the galaxy, Zazu, one of her personal handmaidens, had received a subspace transmission, which told them numerous things about Superman and his heroic and mind-blowing feats in the gladiatorial games of Mongol's world. These feats surprised Maxima, and she instantly claimed that she had found her king and made up her mind to marry him. Without any further thoughts, she had searched for the Man of Steel, even after trying to seduce and make him her own in many ways, like telling him how she could bear him children and make him the ruler of the galaxy. Superman consistently rejected her for various reasons, saying that he had no desire to father tyrants. This rejection caused her admiration to turn into rage, and she ended up becoming his enemy. Maxima and her powers. Maxima isn't just an average alien looking for a suitable mate. She is the result of thousands of years of interspecies marriages, causing her to be one of the strongest of her kind. She has essential superhero powers like super speed, strength, and durability, while she can also use telekinesis, mind control, and even teleport. She and Wonder Woman are often compared to each other because both share many similarities in powers, but it is still unclear who would come out to be victorious in a conflict. Maxima, New Earth. After Superman's rejection, she found herself reluctantly working for Brainiac, who had remorselessly destroyed Almerac with the War World. Soon she found a good opportunity and turned against him, and with the help of the Earth's mightiest heroes, she defeated him. In turn, she joined the Justice League for her own reasons, after the League had saved Almerac from being demolished by Starbreaker. After this, she was given the title of a Leaguer, and as a Leaguer she helped in a fight against Doomsday, which earned her tons of respect. Maybe she isn't as bad as others thought her to be. After the Justice League disbanded, she was actually recruited to be a member of Captain Atom's Extreme Justice. During her stay, she found both Atom Man and Amazing Man attractive and potential mates, but neither of them was interested in her proposal. During her flirtatious period with Atom Man, Ultra, a native of Almerac, attacked him. After a short fight between the two, Maxima eventually stopped the brawl and convinced Ultra to return to Almerac. Poor Ultra, he just wanted to save his queen. After numerous good deeds and feeling like she had really become a good person, worthy of Superman's approval, she offered herself to Superman yet again. But this time, Superman, being married to Lois Lane, was even less interested than before and bluntly rejected her proposal. This sent Maxima into a frenzy. She was angry and humiliated to take revenge, and she joined the Superman Revenge Squad. She swore to herself that this was the last time that she would ever be rejected, humbled, and humiliated by Superman, and she threatened him that the next time the two meet, it would be at war. However, after everyone was going through the Imperiex War, Maxima and her chosen people of Amarak showed up in Earth's solar system, where they met up with the Superman and Green Lantern. Superman and Green Lantern were investigating the disappearance of Pluto and the engine oil trail associated with Warlord when they stumbled across Maxima and the famous supervillain Massacre. After a long and prideful battle, Maxima eventually admitted her position when Elmarak's rendezvous showed up using a device called the Bomb Tube, which allows people to travel interstellar distances almost instantaneously by creating a wormhole through space. She explained to everyone that she was actually leading her people away from Imperiex, which had conquered her world. The Massacre had seemed to meet his end. However, Maxima came across him coincidentally and described her association with the words, "Massacre serves only me now." Plus, in order to save her people, she joined forces with Darkseid's son, Graven, who was taking them to a region unknown to anyone else, which was totally oblivious to Darkseid. Before leaving, she told Superman that when Imperiex came for his precious homeworld, he would see alliances he had never dreamed of. All that she had warned against eventually came to use, and she and an army made up of superheroes and supervillains formed alliances with Earth and Apocalypse to destroy Imperiex once and for all. The two sides battled each other and a lot of lives were lost. One of them was Maxima, who heroically saved the universe when she put her ship in between the destructive beams of Brainiac 13's War World, which was supposed to destroy the whole universe. Alternate storyline where her dream comes true. The Elseworld story, which was part of the Armageddon 2001 crossover, showed many different alternate realities. In one of these, Maxima's dream of marrying Superman comes true. Let's see how that happened. After Superman had rejected Maxima, she left Earth for good. And during this period, Superman and Lois Lane were happily married, but soon their happiness was about to be over. As we know, Kryptonians are super strong, and a human bearing one of their children sounds crazy. But that is exactly what happened. Superman and Lois Lane discovered that she was pregnant, and at first they were overjoyed. But a few months into the pregnancy, Lois Lane experienced excruciating pain. She was soon killed by her unborn baby who had kicked her belly, causing her to break and die instantly. Superman was guilt-stricken. He could not bear to be in the world without Lois and flew away from Earth, ready to die in space. Just before he could take his life, one of his main antagonists, Maxima, saved him. During his rescue, she is unwillingly engaged to Krynon cyborg Dicen. After following the advice of Sazu, she treated him nicely and pretended to care in order to win Superman's heart. But during the charade, she fell in love with him. And in the end, Superman and Maxima end up leaving Earth forever in order to protect it from potential reprisal from the Krynon Empire after the death of Dicen. In the end, as they go, Maxima remarks on what fine children that they would have. Honestly, we need a happy ending for her as well. Even though the death of Lois Lane and the breakdown of Superman were super emotional, we are just glad to see that both Superman and Maxima could find happiness with each other. She has long been a part of the DC animated universe. Superman, the animated series, Warrior Queen. It was first aired on November 22, 1997. We would like to tell you beforehand that this is quite a bizarre episode, and not that it's bad. It is very different from what we usually see in series like this. The episode started out on a plain ground where a warrior queen was fighting a man, trying to find a worthy opponent to become her partner for life. Soon the scene panned out to Maxima taking a luxurious bath in her tub when Sazu showed her a video of Superman, which proved him to be worthy. Upon seeing this, she went down to challenge him. After finding him, they fought a short battle in which Superman dominated. This defeat made her finally admit that he was worthy of being her partner, and instantly made her fall in love with him. After the battle, Superman tried to capture her, but she knocked him out cold. She then took him back to Almerac, but upon her arrival, it was revealed that Decin had taken over her throne, and he captured both Maxima and Superman and threw them into a dungeon. Angry and frustrated, both of them fought their way out with a giant squid and defeated Decin. Just as Maxima was about to kill him, Superman stopped her. Soon Superman flew back to Earth, and Maxima ended up calling him a loser for not taking her up on her proposal. The reason there is not much more said about this episode is that this is pretty much it. Whoops! This episode makes people go back and forth and has received a lot of mixed reviews over the last few decades. The good thing about this episode is that it starts out on a completely different planet, which really shows how the animated series is actually not just about things happening on Earth, but that it is intergalactic. The story would be loved by people who love sci-fi, and that is definitely a must-watch if you love this character. Neela, ex-Superboy? In the Superboy series, a character named Neela was introduced and shown in 2 episodes, Neela and Neela and the Beast. In her 2-episode appearance, Neela portrayed numerous abilities, such as super speed, super strength, and invulnerability, all equal to that of Superboy. She showed pyrokinetic generation and manipulation, teleportation, and even a bit of external shape-shifting. When Neela's character was first introduced, it made all the viewers wonder if she were Maxima or not. And honestly, it has still not been confirmed yet. But what we know is that the 2 characters are eerily similar in terms of power and motives. Neela. In this episode, Princess Neela came to Earth in order to challenge Superboy to a fight to test his compatibility to see if he is worthy enough to be her husband or not. They indulged in an insane fight which ended up in a draw, confirming that he was undoubtedly worthy, and she in turn proposed to Superboy. Superboy soon rejected her proposal as he was devoted to Earth and due to her arrogance in looking down upon ordinary people. This is when she realized that Superboy had a deeper connection with someone else. After a bit of searching, she discovered that Superboy and Lena Lang shared mutual feelings towards each other, so she disguised herself as an ordinary woman and went to meet her. Upon their small chat, she got infuriated because she felt that Lena was not worthy enough and that she was clearly better, and ended up trying to murder her, but thankfully Superboy reached her just in time to stop her. When Lena offered to sacrifice herself so that Superboy didn't have to hold back, Neela was moved to the core. She realized her mistakes and admitted that she had underestimated the strength of ordinary people, and went back to her home planet after apologizing. Neela and the Beast. This is a super short episode that actually shows that she learned the meaning of love. Let's see how it happened. After Neela had returned to her home planet, she realized that the rebels there had killed the royal family and were after her with weapons that could kill her, or at the very least harm her beyond repair. She quickly teleported to Earth and begged Superboy to help her. She told him that not only could the weapons harm her, but him as well. She also told him about how she was being chased by a Sasquatch-like creature whose strength rivals their own. Man, does she ever come bearing good news? Never mind. After battling the creature a few times, Superboy realized that the creature was actually an alien who inhabited dead bodies. It had fallen in love with Neela and merely wanted to win her over with the show of strength and ferociousness. Soon after, Neela went out with a seemingly ordinary man on a date who turned out to be one of the assassins who was ordered to kill her. As soon as he got close to her, Superboy and the creature stepped in, and after going berserk, the creature ended up killing the assassin. But due to the weapons used on him, the creature's body was irreparably damaged after a direct hit. This scene was especially emotional because it showed how much he really cared for Neela and to what extent he could go to save her life. Soon, Superboy gets an idea, and he convinces the alien to take over the assassin's body, and after a heartwarming reunion, Neela falls in love with the creature. Maxima in Smallville. Now, before we tell you anything about this episode, we would like to tell you, please turn on the AC, and if you have kids in the room, make sure that they do not watch this episode, because it gets pretty steamy. Don't believe me? See for yourself. Instinct. The episode featuring Maxima was named Instinct and was Season 8's 4th episode. The episode began with inside the Luthor Mansion, where Dr. Edward Grohl was running a series of tests on the Crystal of Knowledge, an attempt to hack into its secrets. He informed Tess that it was of an alien origin, which made Tess highly skeptical, as it still did not explain the disappearance of Lex Luthor, which took place in the Arctic. Dr. Edward told her that he believed that all of her answers to her questions were hidden in the crystal's hard drive, which a high-frequency generator generator could access. Upon trying this method, the crystal shot out blue light, going straight into the sky like a beacon, leaving Tess and Dr. Edward very confused. In the back streets of Metropolis, a young man sees a bright purple flashy light in an alley, and when he goes to check what is there, he sees a beautiful redhead standing in lingerie, claiming to be called by his Kryptonian beacon. Upon not understanding what she meant and being aroused by her appearance and upfront attitude, he kissed and made out with her. But soon his life flashed in front of his eyes when he realized something was wrong. His heartbeats transpired to flatline, and he soon passed away. This version of Maxima has some motive and the same powers as the original comic, but instead of fighting Superman, here she is straight down to business. The next morning on the Kent farm, Clark was preparing to leave for work after giving some food to Shelby, his pet dog. He talked to Shelby about how he was still not used to living alone, without anyone else but him and Shelby. Clark reflects on his time with Lena as he looks at the necklace that Lena used to wear. Soon his concentration is broken when he receives a call from his co-partner, Lois Lane. Lois calls him to the Daily Planet Tower and asks him to help her with her work as she cannot manage both her job and the happily engaged Chloe and Jimmy. She told him that she could barely sleep because of Jimmy's snoring habits, and that caused her to have double the amount of coffee that she usually has. Imagine if this was hard for Lois. What would happen to Clark with his super hearing? Anyway, she tells him that she misses the Kent farm and how she's jealous for him living there all alone, to which he responds, "It does get lonely there." This made Lois suggest he spice things up in his love life, and maybe it was time to move on. Feeling a tad bit uncomfortable with the conversation, he asked her about the work. Lois agreed and showed him the story of the day about a 25-year-old stockbroker who not only died of a heart attack, but also had exceptionally high adrenaline and endorphin levels. Clark reads on and finds out that the levels depicted in the charts are impossible for a human body to form. At Lois's talon, Chloe unpacked Jimmy's things, discovering his favorite TV shows and music interests. She was joking around with him when he found an old letter written to Clark by Chloe. He got jealous and angry about it, and while Chloe tried to make him understand that it was just a high school crush and that they were nothing more than just best friends, Jimmy read out the letter and asked her why she never said anything like that to him before handing the letter to her and leaving. Boyfriends get jealous over everything, but this time, I cannot blame Jimmy, and even I'd be jealous if I found a letter written to my girlfriend's ex by her. Soon Tess received an invitation and a green dress from Oliver Queen when she was confronted by Maxima, who soon found out that Tess was lying about not knowing about the beacon and throws her away like a piece of paper. She got dressed up and went to the Ace of Clubs hoping for the Kryptonian to be present there. Meanwhile, Lois and Clark went to the crime scene, where Clark noticed a strange marking in the burn marks on the ground, and that she believed it to be the work of some meteor freak. After reaching the Ace of Clubs, she noticed many people, but all of them were occupied, making out with each other except for Jimmy, who was there just to drink and clear his mind. She approached him and told him that he was her soulmate. Back at the Talon, Chloe looked at the photos of her and Jimmy when Clark showed up, showing her a copy of the symbol. Chloe seemed to know everything about the symbol because of her super-intelligent infection caused by Brainiac. She told him that nobody except Clark would be able to survive this kiss-killing person, which concerned Clark, but what concerned him more was the infection in Chloe might have had dangerous side effects. Chloe assured him that there was nothing that he could do and asked him to go to the Ace of Clubs, as another victim was just found there. While Clark made his way to the club, Maxima controlled Jimmy and used her seduction powers to make him kiss her. Jimmy soon started to have a heart attack, and upon seeing this, Maxima apologized, and just as Jimmy was about to fall down, Clark came in, full-on super speed, and caught Jimmy before rushing him to the hospital. Everything was fine, but Maxima had taken notice of Clark. As Chloe was leaving her apartment, she was greeted by Tess, who asked her to decode the crystal, which she described as a very unique supercomputer. She tried everything from begging to threatening Chloe, but none worked for her. In the hospital, Jimmy wakes up to Clark standing at the foot of his bed. Jimmy tells Clark how he found a letter of Chloe's written to one of her lovers, and how she would never get over that person. Clark explains how she only loves Jimmy, but Jimmy stops him by telling him that he kissed another woman, to which he expected a shocked reaction, but all Clark did was nod his head and tell him that he knew that it was not his fault. Just then, Chloe ran into the room and hugged Jimmy, and after seeing this, Clark told them, "It's good you both are together." Clark goes to the Daily Planet Tower and tries to review the footage of the girl Jimmy was talking to, when suddenly the lights flickered and Maxima appeared in the room. She kissed him almost instantly, and surprisingly, he started kissing her back, and both of them started making out furiously. They went into the elevator and their makeout shook the elevator, but that did not seem to bother them until the doors opened, revealing Lois to be standing there. They should have just gotten a room for God's sake. Lois takes off in anger, and to Maxima's disbelief, Clark breaks free of her seduction and runs after Lois. They argued, and Lois ran off to her car while Maxima disappeared. This argument made Clark return to his house, but what he did not realize was that Maxima had attacked Lois, while Tess told Clark about the crystal and how she had seen Maxima and had an encounter with her. She received a call telling her how Maxima was attacking the police officers. Upon hearing this, Clark ran off to save Lois. When Lois was in her car, she was viciously attacked by Maxima, who told her that Clark and Lois definitely had a deep love for each other, or else there was no way he broke off her charm. She told Lois how Clark was her soulmate, and she would never let Lois take Clark from her. Just when Maxima was about to kill Lois, Clark grabbed Maxima and ran off into an alley. She tried convincing him how she had waited years for him and how much she wanted to let him love her and be hers. She told him how she would be able to give him a baby, unlike any other human, and how they all were perfectly compatible. Clark looked visibly taken back because what she said was true, but he suddenly grabbed her arm and twisted her portal opener and sent her back to her home planet. The next day, Clark meets with Chloe, who tells him that Jimmy will be out of the hospital soon, and Clark soon realizes that she knew Jimmy kissed Maxima, but she forgave him as she knew he was under her control. When Clark mentions the letter, Chloe tells him about how she wrote it for him in high school when he was sick and how much she loved him back then. But now she was happy that they were best friends and even offered him to walk her down the aisle at her wedding, which Clark happily accepted. Clark also tells her how he might have found a cure for her infection and that all he needed was the crystal. Soon Chloe went to Tess, who was practicing kickboxing. After a small argument, she offers to hack into the crystal Tess was talking about earlier, but Tess tells her that it was stolen and how she would definitely get it back. Lois went to Clark and told him that Maxima was not on Earth. Clark then thanked her for saving his life and talked about how Maxima made him think about what if his soulmate did come and he was just too blind to see her, to which Lois assured him that when the right girl came, he would just know. She then told him while leaving that she was moving out of the house, and Clark offered her to move back in with him, but she cutely refuses his offer. This interaction was a very wholesome moment because it was clear that both held a lot of affection for each other. In the last scene, Tess was on her computer when she suddenly received a photo of the crystal saying, "You are not ready yet. We would definitely suggest that you watch Smallville because this episode took us by surprise, and it was excellent in terms of effects, emotions, and wholesomeness." Conclusion. We can clearly understand why Maxima was being compared to Wonder Woman. We just saw how strong, seductive, and intelligent Maxima is. She knocked out Superman with one kick. Damn! Plus, she held her own against him, which is more than enough to say that she is one of the strongest as well. In our opinion, she is definitely stronger. What do you think? Write your opinions in the comment box. Until then, check out the shorts that we made on her as well. See you guys again soon, and if you liked our content, don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.